When a woman comes in for an abortion at a Planned Parenthood clinic, they are given a lot of documents that they have to sign. Generally, they are not explaining what they're signing, but just putting a red X by it and saying, you have to sign this in order to get the abortion procedure. And that includes consent forms and things like that. Then they're called back to do some lab work and just basic vital signs. Then they're called into a room with a counselor, an abortion counselor, and I'm using that term very loosely. And the counselor's job is to make sure that all of the forms that need to be in her chart for legal purposes are there and that they're signed. Her job is not to go over the woman's options. It's not to see how she's feeling about the abortion. None of that. It's just to make sure that all of the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Then that counselor will take her into a separate waiting area where the people that are in the procedure room are calling women back. And the goal is to provide the ultrasound, sedation, and abortion within 5 minutes on each woman that goes into the procedure room. So we were getting them in and out very quickly, and they go into recovery for 20 to 30 minutes, depending on whether or not they received some sort of IV sedation or oral sedation, and then they're sent home. And after the abortion has been completed, then a staff member who would be considered the POC technician, POC stands for products of conception, that person would be handed the jar that contains all of the parts and blood and tissue from the abortion. And then that person, that staff member, will go back to the POC lab where they will dump out everything that's in the jar, and they will essentially reassemble the parts of the baby to ensure that everything is there and accounted for. Because if we left the head or we left a leg or some part of the spine in the woman's uterus, then she could develop a very serious infection that could be fatal for her. Then those remains are put into biohazard bags, and once a week, generally, a medical waste company will come and pick up those fetal remains and take them where they're incinerated.